motor cuts loose. Then they'll pull the trip, they'll push it into the dump, and we'll go down and watch them dump. See the stockpile area. You see the car going around to the dump. Right there's the dump, car repair shop, and back on the hill we have the raw coal from Blackberry. And the motor barn there, the old radio shack. There's the mine office and the bathhouse. Oh, and there's old number 8 drift. There's the power house there where we get power for a trolley. Comes Jackie Queen. The old hallway tenants. The old motor shop. Number 8 drift. They brought coal out from number 7 and number 8. The roar in the background is the band. The band used to not be here. Now another trip. Now he just stuck the motor around the hole there. Set of motors, set of number 4 and 8 mine office. When was it built, Dad?
1917.
1917.
Just down Red Dog Block.
By what? Red Dog Block?
Red Dog Block.
Okay. Yeah, we abandoned that thing in about 1984. That's the Stone 4 raw coal stockpile. That stockpile down there is the clean coal stockpile. Joe Sloan feeding the bin from the E1 raw coal stockpile. This is the bin. The one on the left is which bin? Number one. The one on the right is number two. We don't use the number one bin no more. They used to use it when they had drop bottom cars. These cars 12 ton diff coal rotary dump. We'll go down to the rotary dump and turn a couple over and watch you look at them. That out there is the old Wheeler heading. It's where the cars go back into the old number 8 mine. This is the car spotter here. The track unit is under that car. And this is the rotary dump. That's the dumper shack.
I like to got electrocuted. I'm out and washed all that stuff off, and I was crossing it and got in the power. They'd like to kill me. They drugged me out. But I survived it.
First swivel car on the left and one stationary on the right, and that car would turn completely over and dump the coal out of it. Car repair shop.
How you doing, buddy?
This is the raw coal building there. We're standing on the bin. This is stoker, stocking tube there. And then that is the main body of the tip. Chuck, something?
Hey, poured out here. Yeah. Been underground?
Getting ready to go, Joe.
Boy, you spent a lot of years. Already?
Stone number 4 drift was put in 19 and 17. The bridge has been replaced with wood and steel. It used to be all wood. They brought a miner across that in about 1976 or 75.
About 75 or 76, 70.
And they dropped the miner off the bridge. It went out and went over to the left side and fell into the creek. We'll go over here and take a picture, let it down into the creek to see how far it fell. It fell 60 feet off the bridge.
Wait.
And it weighed 65 tons. Here's what we call Site 25. That was a refuse area. That was a big empty hollow that over the years has been filled up with refuse. And it's no longer used for anything. Occasionally we put a little rock on top of it. It used to burn, had a sulfur type gas that came out and used to kill all the trees and everything in that area. Parky Hurley, right after the Buffalo Creek disaster happened in Logan County, West Virginia, when Piston bought that property, that dam busted and killed all those people over there. This impoundment here was monitored due to the fact that we were supposed to have an inch of rain one night, and they were afraid that this dam was going to bust. Parky Hurley went back and walked out on the water and the mud behind this area prove to the people that there were no large amount of water in behind that impoundment. We'll back off here, get the coal gondolas going through the plank. We've got the whole plank with a thickener and everything. Come on around down the road. See the coal trucks going down the road. You see all the company houses that were built years ago in a row. That's the empty track there, with the view of the scale house there on the left. That we were talking about fell off this bridge 60 feet down into the creek, with the main highway crossing under this bridge. This is the main road going up Pond Creek. Over to your left, you go over into Blackberry, Kentucky at Ransom. Like I say, there's the bridge and the drift. It's been 17 years since Dad went underground. It's the number 4 drift. Started in 1917.
Right here was made down at Huddy.
At Huddy.
At Huddy.
These are all hand cut.
Yeah. All hand cut rocks. I can't remember Palco.
Don't matter what.
A gentleman by the name of Palco made those.
Palco.
Palco. The best I remember now. I went in that drift right there in 1952. That's where I spent the rest of my time, in this drift, number 7 across up the road a ways, and then number 8 mine straight across behind me.
Okay. That bar of wire there is 300 volt DC power. That's what the Jeeps and the man trips and the locomotives run, to get the power and to get their ground through the rail. Many years ago they had that went from behind the old tipple, the original tipple, up that hill was an incline. They had 2 little cars that was hoisted up to that building on top of the hill, which was called the old incline. That's how the refuse got up on the hill for the coal trucks to get a hold of to haul the refuse. Later on, they put that structure right there, which is part of an aerial tram that had little buckets that run around on steel cable up to the top of the hill. And that's the aerial tram building up there now. It's been there for years. Here was built in 1982. It's when we built this plant. They did away with all that. Of course, currently that structure there is the refuse building. The coal trucks there load it and haul it up the road to Grants Branch. All right, we're going across the bridge. Going in. We'll be going 5 miles to the loadout. And we may or may not go to the section. Look at the miner. I'll probably be able to get that on the next trip.
off right here and gets on the tail end. Keep our track ties to the right. Flies on the left. Coming in to what they call meat house turn. Going around the turn. Okay. Right here is where we make the turn at Meat House Curve. And you pick up 4 main headings. And this goes the full destination to where we're going to from here. So you can watch along this main line and look at the roof and the ribs. And we'll stop occasionally and talk some more about it. Hey, back up right there just a minute, that bone bradish. Well, let's take a look at it. Yeah, let's look at this bone bradish right here that's got a hole in it there. And we'll walk over and look at how it's constructed. And it's constructed out of the refuse from the mine, from the coal seam. Tell them that. All right. Oh, God. The old hand loaders used to separate this material here, which is bone, and then they built a wall here on this side, and they built a wall on the back side, and then they filled the gob in the middle. You can see the rock, stuff how it was constructed there.
If you'll notice, there's no roof bolts in this area. Only set timbers back then.
This is where Dad and Tom Fletcher loaded coal together through here by hand in the 20s, in the early 20s. Just see your grandpa.
Okay, Grandpa loaded coal here. Him and who?
Tom Fletcher.
Tom Fletcher back in the early 20s. None of the top in this area has been roof bolted. They shot it out. They graded the bottom. The coal was down underneath of us. Now the coal's coming back up right over there. But they took the top for height. See where the drill drilled it on vertically or horizontally and shot it down. There's a 12-inch water line laying on the right side of the track, the far side. The wire hanging on the right side of the track is a 300-volt DC. That's what energizes and runs the Jeep that we're riding. We are going uphill. This is something called four-ride hill. Coming toward the outside, you'll be coming downhill. This whole area only has bone furniture. Some of these furniture is blasted with cement, some were blasted with mud. We do have some area here that has been molded. 2.5 miles of this area has never been molded. Look and see how wide this place has been cut back years ago when they hand loaded through here. There are 32 pumps in this mine. Pumps water to the surface. From one location to the other. The big line over there, looks like got a hair growing on it, is a feeder line. They bring 300-volt DC power on that. And about a million circle millimeter cable. Just keeps the power from being weak. This area here has never been roof bolted. No roof bolts anywhere. The hose that the trolley is hanging in was drilled by hand. Like I say, a lot of this area has never been bolted. fast track in here. We used to pass the trips right here. They had a track that was laid over behind those timbers. Those timbers were not put in until just recently. It's probably 2-3 years ago. But the trips, as the empties come in on one side, the loads would come out on the other. And you can see how wide this area is here. It is probably in the neighborhood of 40 to 50 feet wide. And as you can see, there's no roof bolts.
It's about 30 feet of solid white sandstone top over top of us here that we're looking at right now that has never broken in the many, many years that this mine is operated. It's the best top that you can find in a coal mine for a long-term thing.
You ready to go, Bubba?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, Dad. Fast track switch here. We're getting ready to come up to have Jerry Elkins, Denny Justice, which is a relation to Grandma Hurley, and Richard Atkins. Oh, guys! That's an overcast star that directs the air. Okay, Dad. Stop.
Hello.
Hey, man.
Who is that?
Hey, you look at Denny Justice there.
Hello, Denny. How you doing?
All right, you.
Fine. Who's your other buddy?
Jerry Elton.
Jerry Nelson.
Yeah.
Elkins.
Elkins.
Yeah, you remember Jerry Elkins?
Where in the world you been, Jerry?
Right, everywhere.
I didn't know you were in a... Danny, I'm doing fine, Danny, or I wouldn't be in here.
That overcast wasn't there when you worked here.
No, there's one right here.
Yeah, 9 left overcast up here. Where's Grandma quit up here? Back down the Faces Drive, went to number 7. He quit. Grandpa early went to number 7, back down there at 4 Fast Track. Police just left. They shut the mine down temporarily. Right here coming up is 9 left overcast. This overcast here, it's about 800 feet or less. You can be outside in Runyon's Branch, right across from Don Fields and Junior Goins' house.
Okay.
Okay, Dan.
You look up over top of it, you find my initials.
Yeah, they're in there several places. Plates and the dishes. Of course, you can see this area here, there's no roof bolts in it either. It's just been shot out and graded for a high, so the locomotives can run on the main line.
We're about up to the top of the hill, old Abe Rod.
I'll be up the top of it. You're right at the foot of the right hill right now. You come out of this flood right here, you're right at the bottom of Abe Rod Hill.
Abe Rod Hill turns off. Abe Rod turns off to the right up here.
Yeah.
There's some old equipment over in there. Tank up there.
Right up here is top of Abe Rod Hill, man. Right there's Abe Rod.
Yeah.
That area right there is what we call Abe Rod. Supposed to be some old chain conveyor equipment. Been there for years. You can see none of this top here has never been roof loaded.
Oh, stay that bit.
6 or 8 deep. Yeah, we will. Shoot down over the side there. Go down under where it's loaded. Alright. This is 13 left, just getting ready to come up here. This 13 left is where we get power from the surface in Runyon Branch, Cub Runyon Station. We feed 4,160 volts underground and AC, and then we transport that into 4,000 or 300 volt DC. As you see, we got 3 lines. The far right line is the high voltage line, which is 4,160 volts. The middle line is the feeder line, and the trolley line is on the left.
Right here is where we lost the first man that, after I went to work, in this coal mine here, a young man by the name of Akers jumped out of his motor. Evidently he had a fire in it or something, and he jumped out. He was by himself, and the motor run over him. That was back in the 60s.
Was that Ballard Akers' dad?
Yeah, young Akers married Arlen Jones's daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I forget his first name now. But he was a fine young man. He's on the 3rd shift, and we found him laying dead right over there on the left. So the motor was a-rocking. Stop.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll show you where another one out up here at 9 left. 9 right. He married Billy Akers. Billy. Yeah. Billy Jones.
You can see this is where that they have taken top coal bed dip down underneath. They graded the track so there wouldn't be no big dip in it. We'll stop right up here and I'll show you down where the coal seam is down over the side. Ease on up a little bit, Dave. I'll hold it right there, man. But just a solid rock on the sides, across the top. And then you get over here and you look down in there. And the coal seam is down in there. This was dipped like this and graded so they wouldn't have a big dip in the track haulage system. Okay, Dave.
Right here was where Fred was talking about, wasn't it, Jack?
Yeah, right here.
As you can see, there's an occasional roof boat in this area. Because of the lamination of the rock. As we come out of here, we will go in an area where they took the top rock, top coal, abandoned rock, and then bottom coal. 9 left. No, not this sucker, no. This is probably
Right in there.
14 left.
Now, right there is where I run an old loading machine. The first ones ever come here, they was Clarksons. They loaded off on the track. We would tram that on the track with a nip and walk all the way up here to 9 right and get a couple cuts of coal, and then we'd come back down, we'd go in here, and we drove ahead and air course over on that side and tied it in from where the dip that we just came through back there to get escapeway and airway into that portion of the mines. And I worked to run a load machine in there. I was a union man at that time. Let's go.
concrete rider with the band of rock over top of it. It's made it real high through here. This is probably an neighborhood 10 foot high. As you notice, they bolted the rider seam up and took the rock parting out and the coal. This is what we're getting ready to go on is iron right. That thing right there is an ITE breaker. That checks the fault from the trolley system. The fault that if anything happens with the trolley wire gets grounded to 300 volt DC line, it will knock the wire off instead of just burning it. In the old days, the wire would burn. If it got grounded, it would get so hot it would sag down between the hangers. Now, with modern ITE breakers, then we stop power. This right here is line right. And right here is line right. Alright, right here's where we started back under the rock again. Line right to the right. Right here on the left.
Back up just to her.
Back up just a little, Dave.
Okay, okay.
Huh?
Okay. Let me get out. You don't have a pick or nothing, do you?
Pick. Oh, that's coal there, though.
That's the rider seam of coal that's high and sulfur. That we couldn't mix with this bottom seam of coal here where it begins along right in here. In this area here, there was rock in between it. I guess right there it is.
Yeah.
And we hit it here, and we had to quit taking it because it would run the sulfur content so high that we couldn't sell it. Because the power companies is the only one could use it, and they didn't pay nothing for it. Right here on our left, Tony Paulus got killed.
Rudy Paul's dad?
Yes, Rudy Paulus's father. He was building a bradish around there, and a piece of slate fell and pushed him up against the bradish, and he died at that point. His son Rudy went ahead and worked and retired from this company some time ago.
Let's go around and get this red brick shop back here. It used to be back here. There are bradishes in through this area here that are red brick. They used to have an underground shop here. Can you see any of the red bricks there, Dad? You can see how small they are, but we needed something to... Over here, I'll take this over here. As you can see, where they had their rail for the hoist. This was an underground shop. Right in that area there, you can see a little bit of red brick. This was all built out of red brick. There's an overcast over in behind. That area.
If you look at this date right here, 10/25 of 1967, with my initials, Jack Hurley. I was making a fire run at that time in this area. Let's see if I can see old Brogan's. I don't see anybody else I can remember now.
I see Charlie Smith. CS is Charlie Smith. There's a 6069 JM. I don't know who that would be. They were all different people that fire-bossed.
This is where we had our friend old Clark. Moses here, when we break down in there, we find all this up through here, all the way up through there.
Yeah, you can see some of that red brick right there.
Well, they did a good job on it, didn't they? Later.
9 right, going on toward 11 right, and 10 right. Of course, you can see there's really no more roof bolts in this area here. Coming up is an overcast which directs air current from one side to the other side. It helps ventilate many miles of old works that has been there over the years. An old overcast has been torn out because it serves for a purpose. Dave, let's back up and get that picture of that lighting block system and that SCSRs. Okay. In 1985, years ago, they had dispatchers, and in 1985, those jobs were eliminated due to the fact that we only had 2 motor crews running on this main line. And we put in a system called the lighting block system, where they had a red light and a green light. And this system was to be used as a backup system in case one of the radios on their locomotives went bad. Then they could turn these lights on, and whenever the other motor crew come down to here, he wouldn't go on outside. The 2 trips run together. The red box there is stored with 1-hour Draeger SCSRs, self-contained self-rescuers. If anything happens, you can don one of those rescuers, and you got an hour worth of walking that you can do. And we'll also have a first aid kit underneath those SCSRs. We have several locations where we have those self-rescue stations. And we also carry one on the locomotives. Okay, Dad.
what we call the lower end of 11 right.
This is where the cars passed up until we did away and only have the one motor pushed. It's after the 1989 UMWA strike. We brought the empties around to the right, and the loads will pass out this way. I run a locomotive in this area.
Back up just a little bit. I want to show you something. I hold it right there. Right here in this area, at that switch right there, a gentleman named Ed Brunny was pulling a trip through here, coming inside, which he had dumped outside. And that water frog right there, just about 50, 60 feet behind us there where the trolley pole run, his pole jumped off. And he got up on top of the motor to put his pole back on, and the operating end of the motor was on the end by side. So as he stepped back down off his motor from putting his pole back on the wire, the slack in the cars suddenly stopped the motor, and he headed out in front of it. At the same time, he opened the controller up, and he fell right here. You could see where one hand fell in the dust at that time, and his body was on the track, and the motor run over top of him. I took a shovel and picked him up from here to 15 right. The biggest piece we found of him was a kneecap. He had went through the locomotive gears, and it had tore him up. I don't remember just the date that was, but that was some time ago. I don't